Non c'è il ritorno al futuro, perché il futuro non esiste. Tu sei il creatore del futuro e in simultanea tutto dell'unicos. La collezione dei campi dell'universo, se l'uomo matura a quel punto, dovete capire la frizione dei campi della luce di quanto interagiscono.
Splits the light into different lights. And now, which one of the lights is the true carrier of all information, or each one of them carries all the information?
E quando questa luce puoi trattenere questa informazione, o ogni luce mantiene la propria informazione? Non ho capito. Non ho capito. Ci sono altre domande?
We have a bit of an echo there, Mr. Keshe. I'm wondering if that could be adjusted somehow. We've got two questions that are similar, so I'll kind of put them together, I think. Barbara is asking, how far back in the teaching do we need to go back? There are people like myself who are new to the Keshe Foundation teaching. And James asks, will the public teachings be enough to make everything that is taught, or will I need the private teachings?
E praticamente ci sono due domande che Erika ha letto contemporaneamente, dove chiedono quanto bisogna andare indietro con l'insegnamento e se l'insegnamento pubblico è abbastanza.
IT section of the Keshe Foundation will be set out to do this. What it means in the future, what I envisage will be that you can, or you think of a subject you want to understand, and the KF SSI back up on it, what they call Wiki and the rest of it, will have separated everything that you can go directly to.
Praticamente il sistema di insegnamento cambierà in futuro, sarà fatto in modo che tu puoi scegliere cosa vuoi studiare e ci sarà tipo un indice dove tu puoi scegliere e quindi tu puoi scegliere il punto che tu vuoi imparare e non devi, cioè sarà molto più mirato. È quello che stiamo facendo adesso. Ella vuole andare
finance for that to be done.
in questa direzione, quindi faremo questa
We try
direzione.
to extend the IT into the Iranian IT section heavily. And we change our centers into service into Iran.
E cambieremo i nostri servizi e li
And
porteremo
most
anche
of
in
the IT
Iran.
backup will come through the Iranian centers.
E quindi molte informazioni poi arriveranno
This allows us much more rapid
dall'Iran.
system, a new system for security of all the KF Foundation framework has been developed by Iran, is getting tested.
E quindi avremo questi sistemi di sicurezza dell'Iran che stanno testando adesso per il website.
And this will give us more of these opportunities to be able to secure.
E questo ci dà più opportunità nel portare più sicurezza.
Let you go to the point by point and the direct teachings at the point where what you want to know. And maybe in the future, all the KF Foundation knowledge seeking teachings by other groups and languages will be added. We have a beautiful teachings in Brazil every Friday.
Abbiamo un insegnamento bellissimo in Brasile ogni venerdì, dove condividono l'insegnamento, come lunedì c'è l'iraniano.
Now this is set in the hand of the KF Foundation, and they will develop it up. Now there's a budget is going to be put for this KF SSI to become one of the main points of interaction science and technology.
E quindi l'obiettivo è di far diventare la KSSI un punto di riferimento per la tecnologia.
But most of our servers and backing will go into the clouds, and most of the technological development will come through people who know what they're doing with this and developing protections and knowledge sharing in a very rapid. As we bring these enhancement units for medical application and the center moves to Iran, we'll bring more and more technological development.
Con queste unità
ahead of the others because of the internal development, we accumulate it by other, what we call it, services. But the KF Foundation,
con il funzionamento di queste unità e con il trasferimento di queste tecnologie in Iran, le cose verranno fatte in maniera più efficace.
Which is correct, what we call monitoring everything which comes on to stop the spams and the rest. A new program has been written as tested and it works perfectly.
Un nuovo programma sta venendo testato.
Send this to all the internet in the coming weeks once it's completed. And the same goes with the platform of the what we call the new Zoom system, which is used, is much more comprehensive than the present.
E quindi ci sarà un Telegram diverso, più efficace, uno Zoom più efficace.
But what we see, the new, at the moment, technologies on the internet coming to allow us teaching the rapid way comes through Iran.
In questo modo la tecnologia dell'internet ci sta dando l'opportunità di svilupparci in una maniera veloce. E in Arizona gradualmente le cose vengono costruite. Tu devi riuscire ad arrivare a un punto in cui riuscirai a studiare quello che hai bisogno. E quindi Eric dice, sembra molto bello.
It is getting developed, it's tested. We take the combat of the Iranian, what they call Farsi cache, which is already running on it. And fine-tune it to become applicable for us. These groups, these teams which come in now allows us to tailor-made for our needs. Our need is not like any other organization.
E quindi questo, quello che stiamo facendo è diverso dalle altre organizzazioni. Noi cerchiamo di dare il sapere anche nel punto in cui uno ha bisogno. Quindi il wiki in inglese viene esteso, sta venendo...
Now we launched the enhancement unit, and now we're going into new dimensions for the teachings. We have to upgrade everything to our own level, what we need to.
E quindi dobbiamo, come si può dire, fare un upgrade per essere a passo con queste macchine. E quindi le due donne che sono capi della fondazione Keshe devono decidere come fare. La Cina ha una domanda differente.
Okay, Mr. Keshe, we have a knowledge seeker that's been patiently with his hand up here with the name of John.
Ok, abbiamo una persona che ha alzato la mano, che pazientemente sta aspettando, un ricercatore di sapienza. Il suo nome è John.
Yes, Mr. John from Arizona. Do we see any new pictures?
Mr. John di Arizona, abbiamo foto nuove?
Okay, don't let us get excited too much in one go. Excite us slowly.
John, hai delle nuove foto per l'Arizona?
I got a question about the units that are in Austria now. Are you going to be actually running them in that space where you're at now? Will we expect to see YouTube videos coming out showing
Yes.
results what you come up with?
Ha detto, John sta chiedendo se queste macchine verranno anche utilizzate in Austria e se ci saranno dei video che dimostreranno questo. Lui dice sì.
We open on Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and maybe Saturdays to public. Mondays and Thursdays is set for development testing.
Quindi i giorni in cui ci sono dei giorni in cui l'esibizione è aperta al pubblico e altri giorni in cui le macchine sono fatte sottomesse a test. E quindi produciamo il materiale.
There's a German group that are putting everywhere this is fake, and these are all rubbish. You have to understand the German group just with the facts about cash or whatever. These are the reminiscences of Alan Sterling, Peter File Group.
Ha detto che ci sono dei gruppi tedeschi che stanno cercando di sabotare perché appunto ci sono ancora quelli i pedofili, il gruppo dei pedofili che cercano di fermare la Keshe Foundation.
All of them are pedophiles, especially in universities, taking children and young boys for clandestine activities. And we hit their pocket, and now they are going everywhere with about facts about Keshe.
E quindi cercano di interferire sul lavoro che stiamo facendo perché li abbiamo toccati nel loro portafoglio.
The top guy, communication guy, Peace Wiki, we put in prison for life. And these are all the ones who write these things are all the rest of the pedophiles, if you remember we saw.
E quindi questi pedofile
these and others appeared. They got represented by the governments, and these are the rest of whoever writes, and we know their identities are all pedophiles. And they try to say this is fake, it's not going to be done, and they're going everywhere. And we're opening their hands, and in a way, now we know fully their identities. They all have been involved in child trafficking and abuse.
E quindi cercano di tutto per sabotare, per dire che non è vero quello che stiamo facendo, eccetera.
So when you read it, read the writing of the pedophiles.
E quindi quando voi leggete quello che loro dicono, voi leggete quello che un pedofilo sta dicendo.
When you read Keshe Foundation or facts about Keshe, no, it's written by those who've been hit and they write as much lies as they can. And in that process, all the systems will be shown in a working condition. We have to do certain things to optimize, and we bring it out that in some sessions you can be present, or knowledge seekers can be present when they see the system producing and running. The systems are in working condition already. We have not.
I sistemi sono in posizioni di lavoro già adesso.
Next week or two, and will be operational.
E saranno in operazione, quindi
everything is according to what we want. We, as I said, developed new ways to optimize the operation during the last couple of weeks, and it's getting adjusted. And then we bring the system. You got to realize part of this structure carries the elusive generators, maggraph systems you'll be making.
Questi sistemi hanno il magra che voi state aspettando.
But we're taking all that out gradually because we had to do some other things in the background that we could see the elevation of the energy and the way we wanted it. And yes, you will see a fully operational system.
Sì, voi vedete l'operazione in pieno dei sistemi.
Everything on the platform is, as I said, so as this is becoming a permanent home exhibition for Keshe Foundation, new technologies, we gradually over the next few months will take the whole of the building permanent. This is my plan.
E nei prossimi mesi vorrei prendermi proprio il possesso di questo edificio, questo è il mio piano.
Terms to show, and then we retract back to the platform view. And for example, the cars will be shown most probably downstairs. What you call the flying cars.
Le macchine che volano verranno dimostrate sotto.
To realize to get these two units off the ground has been a big challenge.
E quindi gradualmente svilupperemo questa nuova tecnologia.
Now that we have done this,
e ci piacerebbe proprio prenderci possesso di questo exhibition center. E quindi questo diventerà come un centro di ricerca che rimarrà indipendente. E tutto verrà fatto nel standard europeo. E tu vedrai, voi vedrete le cose mentre le produciamo.
There are a number of knowledge seekers, wealthy knowledge seekers who are purchasing these units for their own personal use, not to be shared, and they want to keep it in their homes. We would advise you, please do so. But at the same time, when you are satisfied and the pleasure of owning one thing themselves, opening to the public,
ha detto che ci sono knowledge seeker, ricercatori di sapienza che vogliono comprare queste unità e tenerle a casa per uso personale. E Keshe sta dicendo che è importante, sì, usatele per il vostro uso personale, ma poi è la cosa che vi darà più soddisfazione è quando condividete queste macchine con il pubblico. E quindi dobbiamo mantenere questa condivisione del sapere. Voi vedrete queste macchine che andranno che cominceranno a essere operative.
couple of weeks or 3-4 weeks, you will see them. Then you will see in the next few, maybe 2-3 months, what we call the new.
In 2-3 mesi vedrete
Totally universal plasma systems.
quello che noi chiamiamo
Which is no motors, no
i totali sistemi universali, quindi senza motore.
This knowledge has been shared with the Keshe Foundation manufacturing in Austria.
Questo sapere è stato già condiviso nella manifattura dell'Austria.
Motorless, what we call coreless systems, is already by design about 6 years ago, maybe more. And now that we open the exhibition center will come to reality. In a way, if you look at it, we have the sun which gives us rays and creates the earth.
E quindi, come potete pensare, noi abbiamo il sole che con i raggi crea un altro pianeta, e la tecnologia universale che vi insegniamo copia questo sistema.
In coming months, you will see a tabletop material production unit, which the foundation will release using the new technology. There is a lot to come.
C'è molto che arriverà in futuro.
The readiness to create new conditions for creation of the new child.
E questo creerà condizioni per la nascita di un nuovo figlio, di nuova dimensione.
The child of knowledge has to be within the structure of the soul of everyone.
Questo figlio sarà un figlio del sapere che avrà la conoscenza totale dell'uomo.
You will see systems running heavily, producing materials. The factory production unit of it is expected to produce up to 1 ton of materials per day.
Queste macchine potranno fare 1 tonnellata di materiale al giorno.
We are producing systems for commercial level, which is the main target of the Keshe Foundation.
Noi stiamo producendo dei sistemi a livello commerciale.
The material system you see now, it will change into literally a field mine where out of the system will come materials on a continuous basis according to the need and the combination.
E quindi questi sistemi creano materiale al momento del bisogno.
Alloys, creation of specific materials with given purities, all is within the reach of this system. And gradually in the next 12 months, as the lab gets decluttered with what we had, and the factories get set up by the head of the Keshe Foundation, Austria, Iran, China, Brazil, most probably United States, we will expand into this knowledge.
E quindi queste macchinari andranno in Austria, in Cina, in Brasile per espandere il sapere.
And then all the continents will be involved in one shape or another control of the Keshe Foundation in production. We have reorganized the Keshe Foundation as I stepped down and the head of Keshe Foundation take over the 2 ladies. They are planning their own plans and sorting it out how they want to and how they envisage to come. And yes, you will see a lot of new products, and the both ladies are highly capable, both highly educated engineers, and they understand the work. And they understand the management of them. Now we are ready to move, but this time with capable people at the realm of the tradition. You will see production of materials in the coming weeks as we set it up.
Voi vedrete produzione del materiale nelle prossime settimane.
For it is a couple of other things needs to be completed in the center. Then, in one point or another, we'll see in the coming time where you look at the center picture between the two, you should see what we call the light source.
E tra le due macchine, quando sono in funzione, dovrete vedere la luce light source. Questa luce verrà formata in mezzo alle due macchine. Una sorgente di luce.
The machines are there, you see them. We got two perfectly dual. You get the what we call the aircraft version, not the expansion version, which is very fast and easy. And we're trying to deliver as one unit, as one piece.
Queste sono due macchine che rappresentano anche due navicelle spaziali e che prima o poi le faremo diventare una macchina unica.
I think your place will be well enlightened. Can we see any pictures? How far you got, if you don't mind sharing?
Tu hai delle foto che puoi far vedere, John? Se non ti dispiace farle vedere?
No problem.
Ok, John ha detto che le sta selezionando e le farà vedere. E Mr. Keshe non c'è problema. E quindi mentre aspettiamo, vediamo se possiamo rispondere alle domande.
Not sure if there's
the Spanish teaching will carry on with the Spanish groups. That you have to ask the Universal Council from the Spanish language. They are responsible for coordinating and organizing these teachings. All the Universal Council members of the languages, they're responsible for looking after these things, the teachings and how they coordinate things.
Ha detto che il Consiglio universale delle diverse lingue sono responsabili per questi insegnamenti, di come li coordinano.
Because it's well planned out for Friday nights. When you attend the Brazilian teaching, not only gets translated into English simultaneously or concurrently together, they do it, but every presentation is well planned. It's a lot of time spent by Rafael and the Portuguese team.
Ha detto che ha detto che loro presentano gli insegnamenti di venerdì, sono molto belli, sono preparati molto bene e c'è proprio un bel lavoro tra Rafael, che lui è il Consiglio universale di supporto e le altre persone del team della portoghese. Loro insieme preparano questi teaching di 4 ore molto solidi sia in inglese che in italiano, così anche gli iraniani.
Something very strange came up in the Iranian group. Part of the people who wanted to cash out on the technology now that it became very well known in Iran, they went to the government and said, Mr. Keshe is an agent of Israel.
Ok, una cosa molto strana sta succedendo in Iran, che le persone che fanno parte del gruppo iraniano stanno diventando famose e quindi adesso vanno dal presidente a
to Iran that they want that American base in Iraq.
a chiedere, vanno a presente a chiedere appunto dell'espansione di questo sapere di Mr. Keshe.
Loyal to my nation and to humanity. And these people are actually the agent of Israel who put these things out to decoy and diffuse or confuse in a way. If I was an agent and working for the Israeli government, with the technology I have,
qualcuno ha detto che Keshe è un agente israeliano.
the knowledge I transfer to the state of Israel will wipe out the state of Iran. And this will never happen.
Ha detto che lui, se era un agente israeliano, avrebbe già condiviso il sapere con Israele e quindi avrebbe già poi sterminato l'Iran. Invece lui non vuole questo, lui vuole che questo knowledge porti pace.
University trying to create this mayhem within the structure now that their hand has been opened. There's a very simple message. If we are supposed to be, as you say, we don't need to. We take the knowledge across and there'll be nothing left. So you are the agents and you're working for your own benefit because you have no status. You found name and you got crowded and you got blinded by a few people calling you saved. We stay loyal to the nation and government of Iran, to the leadership of Iran, and all the governments around the world. We respect of color, religion, and race. I have to make this very clear because Dr. Assadi and the rest of his gang, what we call agents themselves, have written the Iranian government. And my answer to officials online today is very simple. The knowledge belongs to Iran and it stays Iran and will come out of Iran if it's coming today. My voice is the voice of Iran. And the knowledge comes on those bases to the whole of humanity.
Praticamente Keshe dicendo appunto che questo sapere verrà condiviso dall'Iran in modo pacifico.
Those who sold themselves to the Belgians came out with another set in Iran this way. We got rid of one bunch and new bunch appeared because they sold themselves. We're humble knowledge seekers and educators. You got to realize that the Keshe Foundation has become part of Iran national, what we call civil defense.
Dovete capire che la Keshe Foundation è cominciata a far parte anche del sistema iraniano di difesa.
Whatever be the struggle and what we call the problems. So we start teaching medical teachings to many Iranian scientists.
Noi abbiamo cominciato già a insegnare a un sacco di dottori iraniani e questo verrà tradotto in tutte le lingue.
The medical teaching becomes strengthened in that. There's a lot of things happening, and in the background, the same with China.
Ci sono molte cose che succedono nel background, dietro le quinte, anche in Cina.
And hopefully next week, the education team will tell us which 3 projects are there to receive the €1,000 budget for their
E quindi
the teaching for the last term.
L'educazione, la scuola di educazione ci dirà che progetti vinceranno questi €1.000 questi 3 progetti. Ci sono 3 progetti che riceveranno €1.000
We thank the office of Iranian leadership and the group
e che possono essere finanziati
who protect us and the intelligence services of Iran.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give me the ability to share my screen?
Ok, adesso c'è John che può condividere il suo schermo.
You want me to come out?
Just a minute, I think, yeah, you should be able to share, I think.
I'll be able to share.
Maybe he needs the video there. Like,
Can you share videos on your table?
It's not a video, it's just
Pictures.
pictures.
Yeah, just go to the screen share and press the green button.
if not, we'll have to get Mr. Keshe to stop sharing. Maybe that'll be easier to.
There's no screen
Hey,
sharing.
stop sharing. How do I stop sharing? Yeah, I'm on the, wait, I'm on the other, I'm looking on the wrong track. Just 1 second.
So I'm just gonna pull a couple of pictures.
No, we see your beautiful face for the rest of it.
Can you share there now, John?
He should be now.
Where's the share button? Share button.
You should be able to share, I think. Let me see here. If there's something straight. I'll try the allow panelists. Oh, that's it. We have to bring you in as a panelist. I think that's what it is. There we go. Should be arriving momentarily. Okay, now try. Great, thank you. We're not hearing your audio, John. I'll try to unmute you maybe there. I can ask to unmute.
Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes, good, thank you.
Okay. All right, so this is the door going into, we have two halves of the building. One half is office buildings or office units, and then we go into the wellness center. We had the entire
Questi sono i
space
due,
retiled. We're bringing in new furniture.
questo è
New furniture. I don't have all the pictures. A lot of them are still on my phone, so I only have 3 pictures to show you. We have 3 different areas of
abbiamo 3 aree differenti
set up for offices.
che abbiamo fatto per gli uffici.
We're getting a glass office put in on the opposite corner. And we're going to get some pictures put up on the walls.
Faremo vedere delle foto che metteremo nei...
On this computer, the rest of them are stuck on my phone. So that's what you get to see. But the facility is actually, if you walk through it, it's coming together really nice. We have special lighting, we have the dome.
Questa struttura è molto bella, ha delle luci speciali.
Improvements to get the whole thing tied together. And when everything finally comes together with units and everything,
Tutto si sta mettendo insieme, cioè sta coming together in un modo molto bello.
Most of the furniture in, but these pictures are about 2 weeks old, so quite a bit farther away. This little bit that you see here. That's all I got.
What about the center? the pictures from inside.
You want to see the video of the sites and the dome?
Yeah, of course. It's a beautiful dome and it makes a lot of noise.
That's what I was about to ask you about. What do you mean by dome? I want to know.
Let him show us beautiful what they have made. We see your desktop, John.
Yeah, okay. Here we go.
Okay, you got to take it out. You got to take it out. We're seeing your desktop pictures.
Ok, vediamo le tue foto.
Let me stop sharing.
Ok, smetto di condividere.
Was there anything critical there, John, that shouldn't have been shown? Because we would have to republish the video if that's the case.
No.
Okay.
Oh, it's just.
Can you see that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, this is before we had any of the furniture in. Let's go ahead and play this down. Let's just show you the whole.
Ok, questa è un'altra foto.
I wonder what happened to the man who stands in that spot and how you spotted it.
Non sento John.
Somebody got a picture. Probably gonna keep it on the video. Not so much a high quality video there. That was about a month ago. We've come a long way from that.
Questo non è un video di qualità buona, però l'abbiamo fatto qualche mese fa.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's work in progress. The way the Arizona is set more or less become the blueprint for most of the centers we open around the world. And with the progress and delivery of the new systems, it makes it easier to work much more efficient. You got to understand the new enhancement units are about 1.5 meter or about shorter than the expandable one. So it gives a much better positioning. And we can even go to 12 units inside.
Lui sta dicendo che ci sono delle macchine che sono più piccole delle altre e quindi ne puoi mettere 12 tutte quante insieme.
Anything else you want to share?
Altre cose che vuoi condividere?
No, that's all I have.
No, questo è tutto quello che ho.
I have a lot more, but I just don't have it on video.
Thank you very much, just for all your work.
Grazie moltissime per il tuo lavoro.
I think that center will be well known and recognized by people from miles to come.
Ha detto che quel centro sarà riconosciuto in tutto il mondo.
as I said before, many people would sleep around the building to get without going inside the building to receive. I wonder if the echo will be there when we run the system.
E questo sistema verrà riconosciuto, diventerà famoso per queste 12 macchine che metteranno dentro.
My feeling is that the energy of the dome itself will actually help create a bubble effect of the units. Because all of them would sit in the dome, and the dome is made with 5/8" drywall, so it's a solid dome.
Yeah, this is what we say to people who are coming in and wanting to purchase their new systems, that we prefer it to be off the ground, at least 1 floor up. That the Earth's gravitational magnetic field is not so interfering with the system. And,
quello che noi diciamo a chi prende queste strutture che deve essere almeno al primo piano, deve essere così i campi della Terra non interferiscono moltissimo con le macchine.
anything else to share?
Avete altro da condividere?
Not for me.
Thank you very much, John. Any other questions?
Altre domande?
We just had Maria with her hand up here, I thought, and she disappeared. So I'm not sure if
You want to take a halfway break?
Sure. Yes, we could take a short break and put some media on for people to have a look at.
Volete avere un break? Una pausa?
Minutes or so of videos.
Sì, possiamo fare una pausa, dice Rick. Possiamo...
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe, and we'll see you shortly.
Thank you very much.
Ok, grazie, facciamo una pausa. Ci vediamo presto.
Okay, people just hang on to their questions for the later part of the show. I'm sure there'll be an opportunity. And let me get the videos lined up here.
Dieci 15 minuti di pausa. Intanto faremo vedere qualcosa.
welcome back to our show here, the 345th Knowledge Seekers Workshop. Mr. Keshe, are you ready to continue?
Ready, able, and willing.
As always, it seems. Okay, well, would you like to continue with questions, or do you have some other teaching you'd like to deliver right now?
Let's see, the question brings teaching.
Okay. Well, we have two, what I call old timers here, that old knowledge seekers, or maybe not so old, but they've been around for a while. Doug and Jalal. So I'll let Doug go ahead first, and then Jalal.
Yes, hello. I've been really wanting to show this little video that I took today of a bird, a magpie, sitting.
Salvo, volevo condividere questo video di questo uccello che ho fatto oggi.
He or she was singing the most beautiful song.
E questo uccellino che non so come si dice in italiano, magpie, stava cantando questa bellissima canzone.
Rick, how do I do that?
Rick, come posso fare questo?
Okay, you have a video you want to share,
Sì,
right?
devi condividere il tuo video.
Do that technology, I believe. So just a minute, I'll promote you as.
Ok, ti promuovo come penalista.
Doug, you should be able to start your video there, share it there. I'll stop my sharing, might make it easier. Okay, just give me a minute to get that spotlighted and so on here. Okay, I think that came through. It's a little unusual. Can people see that okay? Can they see Doug's video? I think it can. Oh, there we go. There, I got it spotlighted now. Okay, you should be able to play it there now, Doug, I think.
Okay.
Did you save it with the audio to play? So we can't hear any audio. That's probably one of the purposes of the video. So if you...
How do I do that, Rick?
there should be an option before you do the share, or while you do the share, there should be a box comes up. Do you want to share the audio? Do you see something like that?
No. Should I just do a new share, perhaps?
Yeah, you have to do a new share to reset it.
Why are we listening to this?
Well, we don't have to, Mr. Keshe. It was just it happened today, and I thought the bird was singing happily and communicating.
Mr. Keshe sta dicendo perché dobbiamo vedere questo video e lui dice beh non dobbiamo vederlo, io penso che questo animale stava...
Oh, try.
It's a long time since we had a bird. I think the last bird we had was a hummingbird which was changing its colors.
Yes.
So let's hear the singing bird.
Can you hear that, Rick?
No, not at all. Did you reshare the video? Did you start your sharing again? And with clicking the box for audio?
Okay, I'll new share and
it's not resharing. You're seeing the same video, the same window.
I think you better go out and come back in, John.
Okay, hang on.
Just stop it, stop sharing, and share again.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you go to share, there should be an option there to turn on the video. Okay.
I think Rick, it's better for him to send it to you. The bird is moving, but no noise.
No noise? Oh dear.
Ok, l'uccellino si muove però non canta.
File. He tried to send it earlier and it wouldn't send, so you have to send it a different way probably, or shorten the file.
Okay. Can we go to the next one?
Yeah, next.
Ok, possiamo andare nel prossimo passo, per favore?
When you can get him singing, bring him back.
Quando puoi farlo cantare, portalo indietro, faccelo vedere. Adesso c'è Jalal che vuole parlare.
Thank you, Rick. You allow me to sing.
Grazie Rick che mi fai cantare.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Grazie Mr. Keshe.
Mr. Keshe, in the past you taught us how
Mr. Keshe, in passato
in Earth.
Ci ha detto come...
And step by step. And in the boxes, what we are doing, we are capturing the amino acid by making the condition.
Quindi con questi box noi prendiamo gli aminoacidi per creare le condizioni.
I lost about 1.5 hour from your teaching because the electricity in my work came down and I came back home to listen to your teaching. In the meaning, you said the soul is decided.
Un'ora e mezza del tuo insegnamento perché avevo avuto i problemi al lavoro e senza poi ritornare.
How can I understand? Are we making the condition to the soul to manifest itself?
Come posso
capire?
The
soul make the condition
noi creiamo le condizioni per manifestare la nostra anima o l'anima che crea le condizioni? Dice l'anima.
As I've said before many times,
Come ho detto prima molte volte, la fisicità dell'uomo è come una sanguisuga attaccata e controlla il campo di forza da dentro. E questo
does not give such a good position
non dà una buona posizione
for many of us
a me di
to
noi
be able to share its beauty.
e quindi per condividere questo
And in so many ways,
in molte vie
we have to learn
dobbiamo imparare
that
che
mankind
la razza
needs
umana
to learn to share
deve sapere come condividere
both the physical and the soul dimensions and energies.
la dimensione della fisicalità e
How do we
dell'anima.
do it? I mean, if you look at this picture has a lot of meaning.
Se tu guardi questa foto,
I don't know how do we get here.
e non lo so come farla,
This picture I shared
questa foto che
yesterday,
adesso voglio
it's
condividere,
amazing.
mi sa che Lisa l'ha spedito ora a mesi.
What does it mean?
Cosa vuol dire?
We take the hand of physicality and through it we reflect the dimension of the soul of the man as a light. To give to another.
E prendiamo la fisicalità dell'uomo e la facciamo
To share the fields,
vedere come luce,
the energies,
per condividere questi campi di
the
energia.
understanding of. In so many ways,
In molte vie
we have a picture of Jonathan all the time on the screen.
abbiamo
Can you change?
una foto di Jonathan.
Okay, thanks very much.
Grazie.
And in that process,
In questo processo
we use the fields which are within our grasp, within our structure,
che sono nella nostra struttura
to elevate the soul.
per elevare l'anima.
Why do we do this?
Perché facciamo questo?
Why do we extend our knowledge to share?
Perché estendiamo il nostro sapere
To
e lo condividiamo.
to say we're human.
Non so cosa dire savior humans, non lo so.
We understand more, we can share more.
Se capiamo di più possiamo condividere di più.
And in the process, what do we expect? What do we need?
E in questo processo che cosa ci aspettiamo e cosa
Maybe
abbia bisogno?
in time,
Forse
mankind become wise to these things.
con l'andare del tempo
maybe
l'uomo
mankind
diventerà
in time,
più wise, più
become to understand
saggio
his own soul.
e quindi arriverà a capire la propria anima.
And to what extent we want to share these things.
E a quale estensione vogliamo condividere queste cose?
Do we rely on simplicity?
Noi ci
Do we rely on the lack of
basiamo sulla
understanding of
semplicità?
the knowledge of the physicality to the soul of the man? We need to extend our understanding of our own soul.
Dobbiamo espandere il nostro capire della nostra anima
That soul, the energies of
e
it,
condividere
with another soul.
l'energia di quest'anima con altre anime.
And would all become light within the structure of the bigger light.
E così noi diventiamo la luce.
In a way,
In molte
the bigger
vie
light is the creator,
la luce è il creato
and we are all receiving the same.
e noi tutti
Does not
riceviamo la
matter
stessa
if you're in the
cosa.
back of a planet towards it or in front of it, because the strength of the love of the Creator.
Perché la forza dell'amore del creatore è superiore, passa alla fisicalità,
Behind the sun,
la
on the
dimensione della
dark side
fisicalità.
of the night, not necessarily receive any rest than the ones in the front when it comes to the light of the knowledge and the love of the Creator. It's very much what I called as the neutrinos.
E come io chiamo molto, e non ho capito che cosa, neutrinos, non so cosa vuol dire.
This is what we have to become.
Questo è quello che dobbiamo diventare.
And in the process, balancing many things.
E in questo processo si bilanciano molte cose.
We show our love, we show our care, we show our anger, we show our
E
distress.
noi dobbiamo
But
dimostrare amore
does that
e
reflect on our
care,
soul and the behavior
curarsi
of our
l'uno
soul in
dell'altro.
its totality? Then we understand.
E così
When you
capiamo.
love, does it direct to one person or does the one you don't like,
Quando
the
tu
love
ami
still receives
è
it,
diretto a
but
una
doesn't recognize
persona
it,
o
but still gets energized by it, and maybe it touches it and it loves you back. Humanity has to learn this what we mean.
l'umanità deve
How far
capire
can we
questo cosa
capture this
vuol
soul
dire.
and engage it?
Toccare
And with the new
l'anima
understanding,
e
we
interagire
give
con
man the freedom
questa.
of that knowledge. In a way, we welcome you to the knowledge of the universe.
In molte vie, questo è vi do il benvenuto alla conoscenza dell'universo.
And as we see on the screen, the love of God has no formulas and no alphabets and
E
no
come vediamo nello schermo, l'uomo non ha l'amore del creatore non ha lingue, non ha razza.
in so many ways.
In molte vie,
Understanding this brings the message of peace.
capire questo porta un messaggio di pace.
And one of the things that we all need to learn
È una cosa di cui abbiamo bisogno tutti quanti di
the
imparare,
message is simple.
è che il messaggio è molto semplice.
If you ask the soul you want to give to,
Chiedi all'anima a cui vuoi dare
and he accepts it,
e accetta.
that's when the soul elevates.
Questo è
When you
quando
make it
l'anima si
available
eleva.
and it takes it, is when it wants to accept it.
Quindi prende quello che tu gli dai quando
And
vuole
it could be
accettare
there,
quello che gli stai
doesn't
dando.
matter how much you give.
Non importa
And
quanto
then
gli
the
dai.
dam is closed. You're just exploring behind the dam till the soul is ready to open the dam
Quindi
and receive it. When you open it in a small measure,
l'anima deve
when you
essere
open the
aperta a
dam and receive
ricevere.
it, those won't go. This is the way the love of the Creator is.
Questo è
All
come
of it is
l'amore del
behind
creatore
that.
funziona.
And mankind or the creature has to be able to open it, and how
Ra-
much he opens it to what to receive from it.
La razza
Be it the
umana
love or the knowledge. This is what I always say. If you ask, you don't need to make it up.
se tu chiedi non hai bisogno
And it's given. There is no damage made.
tu,
So you receive and you give all of it.
e tu ricevi
And
quello che hai bisogno.
doesn't matter how you interpret it, how it looks to you if somebody else receives
Non importa quello come tu lo interpreti o quello che a te ti sembra quando un'altra persona riceve, perché non è per te.
And this comes all the way through the knowledge down to the creation.
E questo sempre arriva dal sapere fino al creatore, alla creazione.
We have encaged the soul and we create with that barrier of the dam.
Se noi interagiamo con le nostre anime, noi creiamo questa barriera Adam e con le nostre emozioni e apriamo questi layer of the brain of the man, questi
emotional physicality is the biggest barrier for mankind to evolve.
L'emozione della fisicalità è
And
la
that's
barriera
one
più
of the reasons
grossa,
we have not understood and we cannot understand the evolution of the soul of the man
e quindi
as
non
much
può
as the
capire
evolution of
l'evoluzione dell'anima
physicality.
dell'uomo.
The souls evolve. The souls go through the same process as the physicality in the process of their own level. They're not created as one and stay the same. As the physicality
Quando
goes
viene
through
creato
the
non rimane lo
evolution, so does the soul of man, of
Scusate.
any creature. How much can you receive? How much can you be able to share?
Quanto puoi ricevere? Quanto puoi
I
condividere?
always say, and
Io sempre
speak for a long
dico,
time, and I repeat it so people understand it. When you're asked and given, no one can stop.
quando tu chiedi, ti viene dato, nessuno ti può fermare su questo.
And once you're given, the totality is given, not
E
parts
quando
or
ti viene
suit.
dato, la totalità
Then
è
it's
dentro di
the
te.
beholder who's opening decides how much of it can take according to his or her understanding and
Quindi
emotion.
aprire la scienza è quello che tu puoi ricevere e quello che tu puoi capire.
And we create that condition.
E noi creiamo
If
questa
you look
condizione.
at it in a very clear way,
Se tu lo guardi
the
in
soul
modo
of the
molto
man
chiaro,
has left himself an exit.
quindi
And
l'uomo,
it exits through separation of the field of the physicality.
non ho capito.
If you look the dome of the brain over the soul,
Se tu
has
vedi
left
la
escape
cupola della
from
testa
the
o
body,
dell'anima
which is the physicality of the earth,
da sotto,
pull of the gravitational magnetic field of the
che è
earth.
dove
Because if it could
c'è
escape, it would escape
il
from
pool
the brain long time
dei
ago.
campi magnetici
It waits for it to weaken
e
and it uses
gravitazionali.
the back passage to escape, to open up to the dimension of physicality.
Ah, scusate.
In a way,
Ah,
the love of
aspetta.
separation is released by the love of the planet or the being in respect to his position. And as we always said, if you look at the lightning, as I was explaining recently, and we all know,
E come
the
dicevo, se voi
lightning
guardate la
doesn't come
luce,
from the sky, it comes from the earth. The discharge, the balance of pulling the energy starts to separate the spark from the earth up into the cloud, not from the cloud down. We only see that visible light from the line which is already established before.
voi vedete,
Where the earth wants to release or make the connection, then the cloud release the energy through to it. If we understand the process of the work of the planet, we understand the work of the soul.
se noi capiamo come il pianeta funziona, noi capiamo anche come l'anima funziona.
The earth creates a channel that I want to receive.
E quindi è la Terra che crea quel canale che vuole ricevere,
Which is come from the sun and is grabbed
che viene dal
packed up in the
Sole,
upper layers. He opens the door
e
and
quindi
the
apre le
cloud
porte.
discharge into it. They give that energy to it, that energy at a certain strength reaches the inner core of the center of the planet. The energy when you see a thunder hitting the ground doesn't finish at that point. It's been demanded by different layers, even by the center core of the planet, that it pulls in of different strength. As long as the planet exists of Earth, this will carry on. This is why we have so much thunder across all the planets and everything else we see, which have a certain dimensions and rotation.
Scusate, questo pezzo dobbiamo rivederlo, non
Any
riesco a...
cloud and they stay the same all the time. And why some planets have? And what happened to those planets which receive the clouds, which they can absorb high energies from the upper layers? But that has been called by the center. And it's the same with the soul of the man. It's the soul which has to open that door, that passage, that the energy and the love can reach to elevate it. The only way you can reach is by asking.
L'unico modo che potete ricevere è chiedendo.
And if you are willing to give,
Di dare, che non ho capito.
always said, it's the same process with the earth, with the creator, with the man.
È lo stesso processo con la terra e il creato e l'uomo.
And if it is there,
tu apri le porte chiedendo. E se tu apri questo amore, campo di amore, apri questo passaggio.
But touches one point. Discharges the energy into one point where the earth has decided is weak enough and it needs, and where it needs to be.
E quindi è la terra che decide quando è debole.
If you look at the inner layers of the earth, there is no difference between that to the center of it than the brain of the man and the soul of the man.
Se voi vedete le layer, gli strati della terra, è come gli strati del cervello.
We deliberately build it that way. The base always narrow that it can channel fields through from interaction and attraction.
Livelli, sì.
If you look at the shape of a spaceship and the brain of the man,
se voi guardate la nave spaziale e il cervello di un uomo sono molto simili.
And we give out through certain directions of brain to the brain. But from the brain, we release different fields of energy because there is no matter state as such which is so composite.
Dal cervello noi emaniamo campi di forza diversi.
More or less, very small bandwidth of materials and strength. When the soul needs, ask, it receives.
Quando
When you want to give, you ask, and if it's the soul is ready, it gives.
Quando le anime si incontrano,
and suddenly we get what we were not expecting, because the soul has already opened a channel and the thunder has hit. Be the love, be the
quando vuoi dare, ricevi.
If we don't open that channel, there's no way it can be reached, especially when it comes to elevation of the soul.
Se non apriamo questo canale, è quasi impossibile arrivare a elevare l'anima. Perché non possiamo ricevere l'elevazione dall'anima.
And when you're hungry to receive, you open that door. And when you're asked and you are given, that's how it stays. Does not need to be in
Quando tu hai fame di questo sapere e tu vuoi dare per ricevere, quando ti verrà dato.
If you ask by the soul and you give
Ma devi chiedere
word,
dall'anima.
If you can, it all becomes more powerful because both are ready to receive, to elevate, to create a new condition.
E quando le porte sono aperte, voi siete pronti per ricevere e quindi per elevarvi. E tutto dipende da quello che uno dà all'altro. Per poi bilanciarsi, per diventare come te.
What you will see, and I explained in the first part, we are already in the lens center. When we create a condition in the dome of the system.
Quando create questa condizione nella cupola del sistema, nell'esibizione,
we have to create a condition that the systems are comfortable enough to work in.
Creare condizioni che il sistema sia confortevole abbastanza per lavorare.
Become the boundary of the wall of the reactor. What becomes in essence interaction with the soul of the universe. Earth does not work with a motor and sits on the stand. It works with the dimension of the flow of the fields of the universe.
Non lavora con un motor, lavora con l'energia dell'universo.
The matter of units is that
E questa
to
anche la
create
Macro
data,
Unity
we
fa
put the
questo.
two systems in, that they become within the structure of dynamic field flows within the building.
E quindi questo stato
In a
dinamico,
way, in the Earth condition, we see the lightning. When the matter state releases conditions of the plasma. In the dome, we do the same.
nella Terra
But
noi
now we
vediamo
release the
i
plasma
fulmini
under the condition interaction with the field of the
nel,
Earth,
nel,
and above creates
nel
light.
dome, nella cupola è uguale.
This is the same as the soul of the man.
Questo è come l'anima
We
dell'uomo.
use the brain to create that separation. If mankind understands this,
Se l'uomo capisce questo,
mankind moves to a new dimension.
l'uomo può muoversi in una nuova dimensione.
In so many ways,
In molte vie,
the process of the separation in the generation to come
il
will
processo
be taken away.
di separazione
It's the choice of the soul and the acceptance of the physicality.
è la scelta dell'uomo e di accettare la
When
fisicalità.
you interact,
Quando tu
when
interagisci,
you engage, when you what we
quando,
call unify in
quando,
the dimension of the universal community,
quando tu diventi
there are
unico
no
nelle cose
churches, there
dell'universo,
are no mosques, there is no registration office. It's the understanding of totality,
capisci la totalità
understanding the operation and sharing of the soul,
e
both
capisci
in the dimension of physical and the soul of the man, or any creature. I marry you with my soul and my physicality. That's the oath of unification in the universe. And once it's given, cannot be broken. The punishment is beyond. As other fields, other souls, other dimensions have agreed to the mutual union, there is no divorce in the universe. Divorce belongs to the world of physicality, which is betrayal, and the rest of it, because it's physical dimension which creates that position. It used to be in the olden days, I'll give you my soul, I'll give you my heart.
ti do la mia anima, ti do il mio cuore,
Then the churches and the mosques and the rest
e
started to make it physical dimension.
le church and the rest.
And once given, cannot be. Then you understand the purpose of twin souls. You understand the
Adesso
essence of
capite il
twin
principio
souls, which has no dimension with physicality, because
delle anime gemelle.
it takes its own dimension of manifestation.
Prendono la propria dimensione della manifestazione.
Now we are still too immature to understand
Noi
this
siamo
process.
ancora immaturi per capire questo processo.
Do not try it if you do not know the process.
Non provate se non
Can't
capite il
separate the soul from
processo.
physicality. to realize
Tu devi capire
the life of the man is part of the operation of the totality of the work of the universe.
che la vita dell'uomo fa parte della totalità
But it's
dell'universo,
special to man because he always has been
del lavoro
self-centered.
dell'universo.
And when you ask, you have to be given.
E quando tu chiedi, ti viene dato.
We always ask by the rule of the universe.
Questo è noi sempre chiediamo, questa è la regola dell'universo.
As part of the process of restructuring the totality.
Questa è la parte per strutturare la totalità.
Man soon will learn these things because he has no choice. When you become the passenger of
L'uomo
the
imparerà
universe,
queste
that
cose
the
perché non
universe
avrà
will be top with
altre
another
vie.
creature. The only thing you have to share is the soul, and if there's a dimension of physicality with it.
Cioè quello che devi
But
condividere è
they
l'anima
both
e la
exist at the
dimensione della
same
fisicalità.
time. But there are no churches and no mosques,
Ma
no
non ci sono
registration
chiese,
of
non ci
this
sono
registration.
mosche,
Except is ingrained in the dimension and position of the soul, which have accepted and given. This is marriage to the dimension of the Creator, not by man.
questo viene controllato dall'immagine del creatore, non dall'uomo.
In so many ways,
In molte vie,
mankind needs to learn.
la razza
Mankind
umana ha
needs to
bisogno di
become
capire
wise of his own existence in the dimension of the creation of his own physicality and connection with the soul of the creation. And then through it with the soul of the Creator. You only operate within the field, and exclusivity comes from arrogance of not knowing. Then man becomes the center focal point of everything. You cannot push when it's given.
non possiamo spingere quando ti viene
Because it's
dato,
like the dams closed, cannot receive. It has received the totality. What it
perché
needs.
altrimenti non potrai ricevere, devi ricevere la
It's for
totalità.
others to enjoy what is to be given. And this is the way the life exists in the universe.
E questo è come la vita esiste nell'universo.
Break the law. The law of the universe. It shall be broken. This is the way it shall be.
Voi non
This is
potete
how
rompere le
mankind
leggi
become
dell'universo.
twins. That's how stars work. The two heartbeat work together. It doesn't matter how many billions of kilometers you're
Questo
away from each
è
other. Because
come
one heartbeat in one star
le stelle
takes
lavorano
out of one
insieme.
another, and vice versa. That's how they harmonize. That's how they tune. Distance is irrelevant.
La distanza è rilevante.
Heartbeat away, or billions of kilometers beyond man's imagination between the two twin stars. Look into the sky and understand when you see a twin set. And the distance from them, it shows the strength of their love.
La distanza mostra la forza
You do
dell'amore.
not need to be to feel.
Non avete bisogno di essere insieme per sentire l'uno e l'altro.
The bear, the big one or the small one. Look how many twin sets are made of. And how these twin sets have matched up with another twin set that it makes the structure we see.
Guardate questi gemelli stati costruiti e che interagiscono uno con l'altro. Quanti twin gemelli sono stati creati, twin set stati creati.
Knowledge of sharing an existence is the beauty of the Creator.
Quindi condividere il sapere è la bellezza del creato.
as I said, and you see, he don't need to signpost it. He'll find, and he has found his own way. We have no choice but to learn
Voi non avete
the
scelta,
knowledge of the creation.
ma che imparare il sapere del
Man of the
creatore.
wisdom and those who understand the creation. We have to understand the totality of the work of the soul of the man.
Volete capire la totalità del lavoro dell'anima,
how the system works, how the system
come i sistemi lavorano,
allows us to share knowledge of the soul. Then you will understand very simply that in a very, very simple way, there is no difference between these two. Both beautiful to see, both the start of the creation. One carries the soul of the planet, and one carries the soul of the man. But in essence, they are both the same in the same machine. One creates material, and one creates creation on love and life. One we call the human, and we will call the matter state.
una crea la materia e un sistema crea
This is why it's been said, even
è per
stone has a soul,
l'uomo.
because it's created out of the love of the creation.
Anche l'anima, anche i sassi hanno un'anima, per questo che perché vengono creati anche loro dalla luce del creato, dall'amore. E quindi dobbiamo essere umili e in quel processo riusciremo a comprendere il sapere della totalità.
One way or another, mankind will mature.
In una maniera o nell'altra l'uomo deve maturare.
Mankind will come to see the light, but we try to speed it up as the time has come to be part of that structure, to be part of the creation, to be in essence the totality.
E quindi l'uomo diventerà parte di questa struttura e in essenza farà parte di questa totalità, di questo creato. E quindi l'uomo non avrà più bisogno di scrivere libri. E quindi l'uomo diventa la totalità. I libri sono per le persone fisiche. Quando arriva del creatore, quando condividiamo la totalità del creato, questo sapere è il sapere del creatore. E quindi non viene dai libri. La tecnologia verrà capendo nuove vie. E in molte vie in un futuro noi faremo una bandiera, oppure la bandiera di pace.
Color and race and time. The knowledge as we share in KF SSI is free.
Il sapere che noi condividiamo nella KF Foundation è gratis.
in a way,
in molte vie,
our nations are like our children.
All'esce non so cosa vuol dire, sono come i nostri
And
bambini,
we hold it, we love it, and
noi
we adore it.
le teniamo, le amiamo,
But we're changing our one nation
ma
as one boundary to hold to
cambiamo
one nation
con la nazione
as the whole of the planet and humanity.
come tutto diventiamo
And one extent
e comprendiamo la totalità di
in
tutto
the
il pianeta, tutta
future,
l'umanità,
we extend our love
e quindi estendiamo il nostro
is
amore
according to our own intelligence, according to
e
what
lo
we see
estendiamo
as part of the structure.
relativamente alla nostra intelligenza.
We share it, we hold it,
Noi lo condividiamo, lo tratteniamo,
or we hold it as one planet.
come pianeta.
In so many ways,
In molte vie
that nation has to become the whole of the universe.
quella nazione deve,
When we give love, the whole of the universe receives. And when we receive love, we receive from the whole of the universe.
caspita.
Any other?
Ci sono altre domande?
Well, we have a number of questions in the Q&A, and we have a hand up with Mehran as well. Go ahead, Mehran.
Abbiamo una domanda da Ernest.
Excuse me, I think it was error.
Penso che era un errore.
Okay, we've got, you see here from Jonathan in the Q&A who asks, will the change in the brain of the man occur in those who are already living or only in those who are born in the future?
Questi cambiamenti nel cervello verranno soltanto a chi nasce in futuro o anche a chi c'è già adesso? E lui fa, tutto dipende dal capire della persona e anche capire la totalità del processo. Dipenderà se quella persona capisce la totalità del processo. Se tu sei aperto su tutto, tu vedrai tutto. Se tu sei aperto a tutto, vedrai tutto. Se tu sei aperto a vedere il sole, vedrai il sole. Scusate, ho sbadigliato.
Okay, Antonio says, thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Ok, Antonio sta dicendo grazie a Mr. Keshe.
We are, it seems, about to speed up on all levels, and the world as we know it is entering into a golden age. My gratitude to you and
Grazie,
the team of knowledge
ti ringraziamo
seekers.
perché stiamo veramente come si dice, speed up, il nostro sapere sta veramente aumentando la velocità della luce.
waterways bring changes to our consciousness and thus strengthening our physical bodies.
Ha detto che se le guns vanno nell'acqua, nei tubi dell'acqua ci porteranno a essere più elevati.
Our systems are physically vulnerable. Does not
Questi
touch the
sistemi
soul of man.
sono fisicamente
That's one
vulnerabili.
thing for sure.
Non ho capito.
The
Aspetta.
environmental process
L'ambiente,
touches the soul of the physicality.
il processo
not the soul of man.
ambientale,
And in that process, it affects what the soul can receive.
scusate,
What our soul is prepared to receive from the dimension of physicality.
tutto dipende cos'è che la nostra anima è preparata a ricevere dalla fisicalità.
But polluting our soul, our physicality, do we pollute our soul? Not really, because the dimension of the work of the soul is above the man's physical dimension.
So would it be correct to say that the soul's not too concerned with the pollution of the planet or the pollution of the physical body and that kind of thing?
What do you think? Now you've been educated enough.
Well, it seems like when one is in that state, that higher state, then the things of the lower dimension look pretty small. There's stories of people that have died and come back to life, and they tell about being out of their body and just seeing their body impassionately and just sort of with a neutral emotion, not really attached to it the way we normally are as in our human consciousness. So perhaps all our concern, and in my case, my concern about pollution and so on is a response of the physicality to the conditions, not the soul.
If you think of it, the condition of the environment affects a part of physical life, physical dimension. But in that way, it touches our emotion. But that energy transferred, which is the interaction between the soul of the man and physicality, is so low that in a way adds to the energy of the soul, but not adds to affecting it. The soul doesn't feel cold and warm. The soul has no hunger. The soul only says beauty and love. And in that process, it sees what it needs to give to and what it receives from where it receives. One of the reasons there is no crime and there is no wrongdoing in the world of the creation of the soul is because if one goes wrong, the rest will receive it.
Nella creazione non ci dice che va male perché è quello che va male, perché poi quello che va male poi un altro lo riceve.
Moves the soul or informs the soul of the energy of the wrongdoing, and then the soul, in conjunction with the share of the others, as they all have to be correct, moves to the position.
Quindi l'anima fisica,
it takes 500 years to correct that position.
La mia fisica quando ha problemi viene corretta dall'anima, che l'anima interagisce con altre anime per creare questo bilancio delle anime fisiche. L'anima non ha problemi o non ha dà in maniera incondizionata a tutti e riceve quello che deve ricevere.
Wouldn't the pollution or other distractions that don't allow the purity of that expression, how does that tie in?
E Rick sta dicendo l'inquinamento ha a che fare con, interferisce con la nostra elevazione. L'anima riceve tanto energia.
The gas or pollution or whatever is to the eye of the physical beholder.
Il gas e l'inquinamento è soltanto percepito dagli occhi. Ho capito, della fisicalità, immagino.
In a way, I believe too, the dimension of what happens in the physical structure, in the dimension of breathing or whatever. It just looks what energy comes in.
L'anima guarda sempre per l'energia che entra. Per esempio, quando mangi, quando respiri, quando bevi, per l'anima è giusto un modo per prendere energia. Lei vede tanto i campi che si muovono. Non vede cose cattive o negative.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Okay.
Dean has set his hand up for a bit here, so
Ok, Dean ha la sua mano alzata per un po', grazie Mr. Keshe.
Hi, Mr. Keshe. Hi, it's Dean from the UK here.
Salve Mr. Keshe, questo è Dean.
Mr. Keshe, everything you've been speaking about today is, as usual, with yourself and
Tutto quello che stai parlando oggi,
connection, and everything you've spoken about with the cloud formations and everything. It resonates because I had some pictures that I showed with Rick yesterday.
vanno in linea con quello che io penso.
The cloud formations that and interactions that I've had with my environment through my soul and I believe through the GANs enhancing.
Ho avuto queste interazioni con la mia anima e con le GANs.
Beautiful connections with my soul. I believe in a matter state, in a physical form.
Io ho provato queste connessioni con la mia parte fisica e la mia anima. La mia domanda è questa, con la questione universale? No, con la comunità universale? Non ho capito. Creano al momento del bisogno?
Why not?
Perché no?
If you allow it, if you're asked or you ask for it, yes, why not?
Sì, se tu chiedi, perché no?
You see, you ask to give.
Tu chiedi per dare.
Or you're asked to be given.
O tu ask per ricevere.
If you don't accept, you cannot receive and you cannot give.
Se tu non accetti, tu non puoi ricevere e non puoi dare. È molto semplice. Perché tu non ricevi, Mr. Keshe?
How come when you don't like your food, you close your mouth?
Allora perché quando te non ti piace il mangiare tu non apri la bocca?
If you're full with the Chinese food, you can't take a bite of kebab because you're full.
E quando magari sei pieno non prendi più mangiare perché questa è la stessa cosa.
That's an instinct, that's a feeling you have that sometimes you don't even realize it's just an instinct, you know, it's a...
Questo è una sensazione che abbiamo. Io ho fatto l'uomo a mia immagine.
Applies for both dimensions.
Seems the DNA has to have something to do. Has to be some preferences built into it.
All in the RNA. How we look at it and how we want to interpret it.
Dobbiamo guardare come vogliamo interpretare queste cose.
So in a way, souls have preferences built into them.
Of course.
I guess we could say.
That's why they take their position.
E quindi vuol dire che l'anima ha delle preferenze. Sì, è per questo che tu prendi posizione. È così che tu prendi posizione.
Isn't that what we call the creator?
Yeah, too much information. I don't think we'd want to be on that position. So that's very interesting. And
Questo è molto interessante.
the position is according to our preferences.
Quindi la posizione è
more or less the magnetic and gravitational
in
fields
relazione alle nostre
that feel around
preferenze.
us.
E lui fa sì.
In so many ways, yes.
In molte vie sì.
And then
when you make a reactor that with the technology that you've given, and you connect your soul with that reactor.
Quando fai questi reattori e connetti la tua anima a questi reattori.
Throughout the universe, that's felt, and they're aware of this reactor and your connection to the source and to all.
Nell'universo sono
What you mean?
Sono consapevoli di questo reattore. Quando tu fai questi reattori che tu dai come tecnologia gratis e vi connetti a livello dell'anima e a livello fisico produciamo le GANs e quindi sono connetti alla tua fisicalità e quindi tu dai l'intenzione ai tuoi reattori e questo ti può connettere alla tua famiglia.
Are you asking Mr. Keshe or are you asking for yourself? You keep saying you, referring to Mr. Keshe.
Perhaps I am, Rick. Perhaps I'm asking myself.
Because I don't know if Mr. Keshe has been experimenting with urine lately, but I know that you brought it up in the plasma group yesterday. So I suspect you mean you, not him.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
In a way of development, understanding the soul, it's very much as we go back to the beginning of all the teachings.
Nella via dello sviluppo dove siamo adesso devi capire la tua anima e quindi andare agli insegnamenti, quelli originali, quelli e devi connetterti per elevarti.
It's part of you because it's created out of the emotion of it, of the physical emotion.
E quindi questa parte è stata creata da te, dalla tua parte fisica, emozionale.
Did you feel the ganses?
E quindi
did you feel the energy transfer of it?
Hai sentito le GANs, hai sentito il trasferimento di energia delle GANs.
All is part of the structure and it counts.
O fa parte della struttura delle GANs.
But it's limited to the emotion of the physicality. Do you want to receive it in dimension of the soul? Soul does not have.
Tu vuoi ricevere in dimensione dell'anima.
Feel the touch, the physical dimension. That's why it's built the brain. That in there, some information can be translated.
Seems to me the soul, Mr. Keshe, is a very all-knowing, beautiful creature that is aware of everything.
forgotten one thing.
Nel processo di creazione l'uomo si è dimenticato di qualcosa.
And then there is fields of the soul which do not need the body.
E ci sono i campi dell'uomo
they
che
can interact and they can evolve.
E questi campi di energia dell'anima possono interagire e svilupparsi. Se noi vediamo i campi del nostro corpo, della nostra anima in un modo specifico, noi capiamo di più della realtà della creazione.
We share knowledge in a different way, and we will share the totality of the knowledge in
Noi divideremo il sapere in un modo diverso, la totalità del sapere.
You will see how the soul of the man shares knowledge.
E quindi vi faremo vedere come l'anima condivide il sapere.
In the present mode of science. And if we come to hold it, come to understand it, come to appreciate the knowledge we receive from dimension of physicality, how we receive knowledge from dimension of the soul of the man. It is huge. In the body of the man, we have nerves. In the dimension of the soul, we have field lines. And how these field lines interact, how they manifest the presence of the others. What does it mean? And how much do we understand this of non-physical dimension field lines? This is part of the teaching which in the coming weeks I'll start explaining more depth. That you will become aware of another dimension of communication. And the beauty of it is some knowledge seekers said to do this, and they can show it. Very much we have to see it and then we understand it. That in a physical body of the man we have neural system and we connect it. In the dimension of the soul, we don't have such a thing. It's the fields, and these fields are connected to somewhere. Where do they connect? To whose magnetic gravitational fields connect? These are what we have to comprehend. I try to make a picture that you can see. If we look at this picture, that's the brain of the man, let's say. There is no neural system, but there are millions of fields. If you look, go into this brain. Where are these lines connected to? To whom? To where? To what molecule? To which soul? And then you understand how the structure works. How your soul neural system communicates. And in reality, if you look at it and try to understand it and try to be aware of it, is this the nerve which goes to the papa, or is this nerve which goes to another creature in the universe? this is a very small presentation of the energy fields of the plasma of the soul of the man with the rest of the universe. In the system of the body of the man, we can count the nerves, but if you look, even this one here is connected to somewhere because its interaction with it creates this little dot. Even this one. So we have to understand a new dimension, a new reality, a new totality of the knowledge. And this will bring to us
Mr. Keshe, so then with a thought and an intention, can you clear some of the rays, some of those connections, if they're not of service to you?
Can you repeat that?
I should say.
Can you repeat that?
If those certain connections you have to the brain, you say all those field transfers and energy transfers, can you, with a thought and an intention, clear a ray or something that's gone within your structure that you need to clear? Can you do that yourself with a thought and an intention?
In a way, you close it, you don't want to receive it.
Is that through the knowledge, Mr. Keshe, or is that through pure intention and love?
Both. From the part of the receiver and the giver.
I think many entities will interact in a beautiful way in the moments to come because of the knowledge you've been given. Thank you for that answer, Mr. Keshe. Thank you.
Thank you very much. In so many ways, if you look at the bottom of this picture, what is interesting, and a lot of people don't consider and just look at the lights and rays, look at this picture in a different way. Look at the fields here and the fields here. And then look at the fields here. I don't know why it deletes one when I put other on it. If you look at the fields on this side, are sporadic. But if you look at the fields here, are dense. In this part is interacting, connecting to something. But in this part, it has a continuous interaction, influential, which is the gravitational field of the Earth. This is where the water was put in a jug on a tray in a freezer. So now it has a reference point. Something has gone wrong as I draw. the way here, Earth is giving and taking. Here is the fell, what comes from the others, which we don't know where they end. So in this position, the interaction is complete. It's unisons, both give and take, because they have to find accommodation to be in the position.
Mr. Keshe, I don't think we're seeing the annotation.
So I go up and come back. Let me redo the picture. Do you see it here? If I draw, oh, the wrong back.
See it all now. Yes.
That was a traffic jam. Let's see what we can do. We call in annotation. Let's see if it's still the same Mehran. And we go back on it. Did you see any of the annotation at all? Zoom is going funny nowadays. What I want?
Upside down U shape there and other shapes.
Yeah, okay, we're trying to get that out for you and then you're happy. This must be from old picture time, but even funny. Ignore this one. See, all these fields end up with somewhere. Yeah? We don't know. Does this go to the grandmother? This goes to the table? This is for the chair next door? Or this is from planet Zeus? But in this section is a direct. It's between the water, the soul, and the soul of the physicality of them, the fridge and the gravity of the earth. Because these two, the fridge and the water in a container, have to interact directly. You see the traffic, every single cell of the tray has a connection with every single cell of the water. And we see it in these fields coming down. In a way, if you manage to count the whole number of these fields at the bottom, we can see how many cells are involved with each other from each side. We can count the molecules. Each molecule has created a parallel with the other one. The other ones which are not there means they haven't connected. So some of the molecules of the tray, the box, the gravity of the earth is this, we can see. But this part, if you look at them, they don't bend down. They're upwards, they're straight, which means they're connected to somewhere else. It's the same with a man. This is your neural system, your nerves. And this is the way, the dimension of the souls, to be free to interact. Uncles and cousins and those aliens we saw in the space. For this, we have made neural system in our physicality. For this, our brain is free to go. How many of these are lies because of the box of the container when we made eyes? Then we see the interaction, then we understand the totality. It's very simple. Or I think it's simple. Then which one is the emotion? The one at the bottom is the emotion of your child, your wife, and you feel it and you have every interaction. Or is the part on the top is with all the others that you are interact with, or it have an interaction with.
So, Mr. Keshe, where you put your intention is where you can interact with.
Yes.
Where I put my intention, sorry.
Yep.
So that comes to how important is with your environment and the conditions all around you, and how you how peaceful you are, and how you interact, as I said, where you want to direct your flow of plasma to interact with it, and that depends on your emotion at that point.
Most probably. But then you have to learn from now on two emotions. One emotion of physicality and one emotion of the soul. Or the new life starts in the future will be aware of both. And how will allow one interact with the other and what to overflow with that. In the new cycle of life, when we fall in love, we won't feel it in the heart. We feel it in general, the whole entity of physicality and the soul. Falling in love in the new generation, as we prepare for it, will come in a way of totality. When we were young, when we fall in love, we could hear the heartbeat changing and the breath cannot be taken and the rest of it. In a new generation of falling in love, as we change the soul of the man to become aware of universal soul and creation of new soul, we make the falling in love as a totality, because now you fall in love with the soul. You don't feel it in the heart as such. The need to be comes from the emotion within, not emotion with the heart, with the physical dimension. It's a total commitment. Is what we call totality. It's not breathtaking, it's just wanting to be with. It's wanting to be part of. Because it's what they call interacts, interlocks. Physicality is within the soul, so soul takes priority in loving. Don't know why, but I want to be all the time in the physical dimension present. But in fact, the soul has taken the love, and the interpretation of love by giving is part of the structure of the life of the man to learn. And this will become part of the new cycle of life. We feel love in a different way than we are used to in the physical dimension. Because this is one of the reasons of the new cycle of life, because this was not open to the soul. Now, souls can fall in love in a different way than being twins and connected, in a different dimension. In a coming time, even the structure of the skies will change, as the new way will be taught even to the planets and the stars and universes. The structure of the horizon and the skies will change in a very drastic way. The skies will shine in a different way, and the stars the same. That mono singularity becomes colorful sky to look at. The soul of the new life will shine on all, and all will take by the same. In so many ways, there is a new horizon, and that comes from polarity, not singularity. Mankind, or the future of the race of mankind, will have a very good contrast to put next to each other. How the skies looked, how the skies shined, and how the skies will shine in the future. When we bring the balance between the soul and physicality in the new dimension, even the stones will be touched. That's along the heart of the physicality and the soul of the man. It's the soul of the stone, with the interaction with the soul of this physical dimension, will change. Now, it will have a feeling. It will understand the touch, the hold two cancers of a different strength in each hand. And then you understand what I mean. When I hold cancers, I taste it. I know roughly what it is. what energy is trying to give me and what it's trying to take. I taste in a physical dimension when I hold the gans. I used to have the same feeling when I used to hold nuclear materials. So it's the fields, because the soul has no dimension of physicality, and then it transfers its knowledge to the dimension of physicality. When you hold the CH3 of a higher strength, you taste sweetness. When you touch lead, it's bitter. You want to spit. When you hold zinc, it gives you an emotion of love and care. And none of you have ever trusted it, never tried it. When you test it and you try it, you get the feeling in your body, physical dimension. Then you know your soul is connected to your physicality. Because ganses are in a physical dimension of the soul energy. But are made of the matters of the physicality of the matter. This is why when you have grown up, we give you ganses in different shape or structure for this reason, without you understanding it. When your soul is in connection with your physicality, you don't need to take the dimension of physicality when it's need not to be. When you hold the body in your hand, you feel this feeling through the soul. And when you understand that body, be it a cup of milk, be it a cup of gans, you carry his emotion. Man holds with a finger and lets go. What about feeling its energy? Feeling what it tries to give you and what is in the dimension of its physicality. Then, with a new technology, how do you feel about the fields which come to you? All counts. When you hold the material in your hand, you should be able to feel its emotion. When you touch a tree, you should understand its emotion, its pain, or its joy. If it's in pain, you give to it. How do we give a love to it? How do we give our love when we love someone? You kiss it. In that transaction, you transfer the whole energy of the soul to it, and you give it peace. Mankind needs a lot to learn, but it's too physical. Don't wait till our children, let me kiss it better for you where it hurts. So, to remedy the pain, we give energy to it, that point, and we elevate the soul that the physical pain does not exist. So is when you kiss the tree. We have become too physical to understand the totality.
Mr. Keshe, the souls returning, you said there will be many in the skies. Will they stay in the plasma state? They will not take physicality?
That's their decision.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe.
Wait, stay.
Any other question? We're reaching through what we call 1 o'clock.
Yeah, well,
We are within the range of our time. Thank you very much for today. And I hope we start a new way of teaching, a new way of understanding the operation of the universal system, a new way of understanding universal culture. And in the process of teachings in the coming time, we'll carry with the same process for mankind to become free of the shackles of physicality. Even the new life to come will bear both. We've had too much experience of physicality. Now it's time to stop experiencing the soul of the man, the soul of the existence, the essence of the creation. And in that dimension, we link to the rest of the universe. In the physical dimension, we've been isolated for too long. In the dimension of understanding the soul of the man will enter the universal community, the dimension of the soul of the universal community, not in the dimension of physicality. The knowledge transfer will be so rapid that it will enlighten the whole planet. But slowly, they start enlightening the soul of the dome within the center of the place where was the center of death, now becomes the center of life. In so many ways, a new life from the same place, in what we call the Phoenix, has risen from the city of Linz, from ashes of the Second World War. That's the last war we collectively remember, because the rest has been local, and in so many ways, a new life. Thank you very much. I hope we learn more in a faster way in the coming time as we teach through the soul and not through the voice of the man.
very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Keshe, for another Knowledge Seekers workshop here. Okay, we'll play a few videos for our products in the store to end. And I'll just say this has been the 345th Knowledge Seekers workshop for Thursday, September 10th, 2020. And we look forward to the testimonials workshop coming up on Monday, September 14th, I believe it is, and the Monday coming up. And bring your testimonials and stories of the plasma technology, and appreciate hearing from you there. Okay, let me play the videos. Thank you very much for attending today's workshop. Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Congratulations on what I think is the most beautiful design of the year for industrial designs in the universal body enhancement units. They're just beautiful, and I think they should get an award. Okay, thanks everyone. See you next time around.